Hello, everyone. Welcome to this. I think we do a lot of these impromptu discussions.
Yep.
We all chat on one of these little things, and we start realizing, hey, this would be a good conversation for people that check out all of our channels. ODC started this one, so I'm just going to throw it over to him and let him kick up the topic for this discussion.
Well, I wanted to talk about collections in general, and we're all collectors, and everyone that watches my channel or Rob's channel, or any sort of action figure reviewer or collector for that matter. Pretty much, I mean, at what point do you get to a point where you have to say I either A, have to start cutting back, or B, call it quits? And we're not talking about any of us calling it quits or anything
Whoa,
like
I didn't
that.
know that's what this show was going to be, is quitting.
You know what? That's it.
They're all mine. No,
Where's the white towel? I don't have a white. Oh, there's a white towel right here. Throwing in the white towel. That's it. I quit. No, but that's not what we're gonna get into. It's not about quitting. What I do want to discuss though is, where does it become too much, and when do you start telling yourself to scale back? Because with the way the market is now and the way it has become within the last, when you really think about it, everyone, the last 5 years have just, everything has just kind of expanded so much. And there's all these different companies that have come out, and you have your import figures, you have your domestic high-end figures, and then you have your regular domestic figures, like your DC Collectibles, your Hasbro, your Mattel stuff. When you have all of this to choose from, A, what do you pick? And B, what do you scale back on? And for me, I've come to the point where for most of my Hasbro stuff, my Mattel stuff, and my DC Collectible stuff, I'm really going to have to start scaling back on that kind of stuff, because I want to focus more on what Mezco is doing, what SH Figuarts is doing, what Mafex is doing. Not to say, like, I'll probably never give up my Black Series, because I just adore that line. But for the most part, I really want to start scaling back on, like Marvel Legends. Like, I think I want to cut Marvel Legends out completely. I'm pretty happy with what I have. I have pretty much either one version or both versions of most characters. I think maybe if I do pick up any Marvel Legends, it'll probably be certain versions that have never been released, like a Jim Lee Cyclops or the Jim Lee Rogue, or specific characters. I'm not going to be in a continuation of picking up entire waves. I really want to discuss that, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have been thinking about that. Us collectors as a whole have been, maybe thinking about it, but no one else really talks about it. And I feel like, maybe this is a good time to start discussing that, with it being the beginning of the year. Toy Fair was just announced, and you have all this to choose from. I mean, you have from NECA. NECA is another toy company I just absolutely adore, with all their movie figures and everything that they do differently. With their Rocky stuff, which I am a big fan of. I wish they would, bring back that line 100%. There's just so much to choose from. It's like, where do you A, start, and B, what do you cut out? And I think that's what I really wanted to talk about for the most part here in this podcast with Rob. Where do we go, and where do we cut back, and if so, where do we stop? Like, there's got to be a stopping point at some point. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think I could ever grip that type of reality of saying I eventually have to stop, because I've been collecting since I was 12. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's really tough to say, but I'm running out of room. Like, I have nowhere to put this stuff.
I mean, I'm rearranging this shelf. Like we're talking about, you probably can't see it. It's probably just off frame if I move the camera a little bit there. There's the new 52 figures. At one time, this CD rack that you see behind Robin, all of those figures, like with the Justice League 7-pack, they all fit on this shelf right back here. And every once in a while through Facebook, you'll get like one of those timelines, like 3 years ago, you posted this picture, and then you can share it with your friends. There was a picture of me holding, Green Arrow and the Justice League 7-pack. That's 3 years ago. 3 years later, and I have almost the whole entire, series. When I was like, I'm only going to get the Bat Family. Green Arrow. I'm going to get this. All these wells start happening before you realize it. You're like, I'm up to 55 figures. Where was the line? And in one of our chats that we had earlier this afternoon, I was telling the guys that my wife is always saying like, this is the last one, right? And I'm like, yep, it's the last one
until the next one.
Yeah, until the next one. And not that that's bad. And I don't want to make it sound like my wife's like, you can't collect nothing.
No, because that's not how Ellen is.
No, that's not how it is at all. But it's that joke of like. Just using Batman versus Superman as a reference, you see there's the Mattel figures right there. We've got Mattel, NECA. Are Figure Arts going to do any from them? We know Hot Toys is doing some. DC Collectibles. Yeah.
I know. I think Figure Arts down the line might. I haven't seen anything. I think they're solely focusing on like Star Wars right now. Like there's a ton of Star Wars stuff they're coming out with.
Yeah. Just using any of that as a reference, even Star Wars, like where do you go? Where you like me personally, I was like, I'm not going to get into Star Wars. I mean, we did a video on here of me just going through boxes of Star Wars stuff and going, well, I don't know if I'm going to get any. And I fell down the rabbit hole and I'm starting to look at it going, all right, now I've jumped into something else. It's almost like, can I get out of it? It's like you bought a card, like, no, you agreed to buy this whole entire wave, so I think that's the problem for a collector is deciding, how many different versions of the same thing am I going to buy? There's a Marvel Legends Captain America wave, and I'm like, well, I've got the movie version of Captain America. Somebody will say, well, you don't have the comic version. So fine, I go buy the comic version. Oh, right there. Anthony's got one. Set up on screen. But so it's more of like, I don't even know where to jump into this discussion at and trying to figure out, like you said, at a certain point, I bought this big monstrosity to put my comic books and figures. Well, they've overrun this top shelf and I've got statues on this shelf. And now my comic books are starting to dip down lower when I bought the thing for comic books, to begin with. And it's kind of run this room all over. And I've got stuff upstairs that are still like, I was telling them that I have the Marvel Legends Age of Ultron Incredible Hulk in a package. He's been in there since May. I haven't reviewed him. I haven't done anything with him. The figure is great. Something that I looked at and said, oh, this is really cool. I need an Incredible Hulk. I have to have this figure. It's now February 2016 and I bought it in May of 2015. How bad did I really want that figure? Because I must have wanted him really bad to keep him in the box for 7 months.
You're a mint on card collector.
I'm a mint on card collector.
No, I you know what? That happens. It's that spur of the moment thing where you're like, all right, you know what? I don't have a Hulk. I got to get at least one. Right. And as long as you have that one, I think that's okay. Because if you don't have any other Hulk, that's completely fine. You know what I mean? And I guess what my thing is like you were starting to say, there's this and then there's that. This is announced and then that's announced and then this is announced and I want this, that, and that and that and that. But and you have this like plan in your head, and it always happens around Toy Fair time because all this stuff gets released, and you're like, I need to get that. I want to get this. I don't really need to get that, but I might. You know what I mean? And then when you have that set of where you have this like written down, because I'll make a list.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make a list of exactly what I'm going to get so I don't forget. And then I'll pre-order said things. And then I realize what happens, and this happens every single time. I'll order a bunch of little stuff and it'll come out first. And then when the big stuff, like the more expensive but higher quality stuff comes out, I don't have the money for it. I have to cancel the pre-order. And then I'm like, well, I couldn't get it because I bought 4 waves of Marvel Legends and I bought all these DC Collectibles figures and I got two or three waves of Star Wars figures. You know what I mean? the money ran out because I am on a budget and I can't afford to get a Hot Toys figure now, or I can't afford to get a Mezco figure now, or you know what I mean? Like it just happens that way, and that's why I really think like it makes more sense for me to aim towards the import market and the higher scaled. I shouldn't say higher scaled. I should say higher quality market when it comes to that, as opposed to buying a bunch of good figures. I'm not saying that DC Collectibles or what Hasbro does as a whole they're not bad figures, but I just would prefer to spend my money less figures per year, but a little bit more money, like the $70, $60, $50, $40 range. And now that DC Collectibles is in the $40 range, it's like, well, now you're trying to get into Figuarts territory, and you're not even in the same level as them. Like you just can't compare.
Yeah, that's always the rough thing, is figuring out, like you said, having the list, and this is what I'm going to get. Like, how many $20 figures did I buy this year that I could have not bought those 6 figures, and I could have had this one great figure, this one Hot Toys figure.
Yeah,
I was still spending the same amount of money, but now I've got this one thing that's just so cool, but I've got these 6 little things that are cool, but now it stopped me from getting this one thing. You know, I pre-ordered. I think I actually DC Collectibles kind of screwed me over a little bit. Not bad. I bought. I pre-ordered the Batman versus Superman Hot Toys, Ben Affleck Batman. First Hot Toys that I ever ordered, and that was, you know, a discussion to have with the wife, like, hey, this is what I want to do, and blah blah blah, all that stuff. So looking at, okay, it doesn't come out till I think September, so it was like, okay, I've got to pay a payment plan. This is what I'm going to do. The credit card's not going to be charged until it ships, so that way I'll save the money up until September. I'll put it in the account, and then bam, it'll get paid for. But on top of that, I also ordered a T-shirt, Batman vs. Superman T-shirt. Well, the T-shirt's available today. So as soon as the T-shirt was paid for, so was the Hot Toys. My wife was like, Rob, we just got charged for the Hot Toys figure. And I was like, oh, everything's fine. Everything's cool. So, I mean, we had, you know, the money and all that stuff to do it. But sometimes that's a problem with the pre-order. Like, you'll pre-order stuff, and it doesn't come out till June. I'll completely forget about it. Mm-hmm. And then the figure, I get a notice that it ships, and I go, oh, holy crap. I totally forgot that I pre-ordered this thing months in advance, and now it's here, and I've kind of been nickel and diamond all through that time. So pre-orders are a good thing, but they're also a real bad thing if you're not on top of them at the same time.
Exactly. I feel like there should be some sort of, like, and I know they'll send you like a shipping notice. Some companies will send you like a warning, like, we're about to start with your payment plan, or we're about to process your order. Some people will do that, but like other ones, like Big Bad Toy Store, they don't do that shit.
No.
And my big issue, and I do have a lot of orders with, like, I have a huge pile of loot. I have like a $300 pile of loot right now. Through that.
I can't wait to see that pile.
It's gonna be a huge box. Their problem is that they don't give you the dates. Like, they're always, whatever pre-order date they give you, it's always a month later.
Yeah.
And then they give you zero warning. Like, if it comes out early, or, you know, like, we're going to process it earlier, they should let you know ahead of time, so your card isn't like, you know, because not all of us have deep pockets, you know what I mean? Like, if your card is ready to be charged, or if it's going to be charged by this date, like, they should give you specific dates instead of kind of like sneaking it in. Like, they're sneaky, you know. It's like, I wasn't, you know, I was ready to pay for it on this date, but since it came out 2 weeks early, I not ready. I had bills to pay, and I got a mortgage, and you know, and I got taxes I got to pay, and this, that, and the other thing adds up, and then now I don't have money for that. So now I got to cancel it. And then, so certain things like that happen, and it gets kind of frustrating with pre-orders. That's why I almost would prefer to just, when you pre-order it, just pay for it.
Yeah. And sometimes, like in the pre-order, I used to be under the assumption if I don't pre-order this, I'm not going to get it. So you pre-order a figure, and then I go to the comic book store, and there it is. But Amazon or Big Bad Toy Store hasn't shipped yet, and I'm like, well, damn it! I could have just bought it here, not done the whole pre-order thing, and then wait for them to send it to me. And then you start watching reviews, going, oh, it should be to my house in 4 to 10 days, or I could have bought it yesterday at the shop. I kind of wish they wouldn't do the whole, you got to pre-order now, because if you don't pre-order now, they're going to be gone. Some things will, but for the most part, no, not really. It's just more of like, we want to get your money now, so you don't talk yourself out of it now, type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, and I get the sense that it makes it more convenient for you not to be charged now. Like, I get that. There's a convenience saying like, oh, okay, so I have time to save up for this instead of having to pay for it right now and missing the pre-order. Like, I get that, and I understand that logic, but for me personally, I'd rather just pay for it ahead of time.
Yeah,
and get it out of the way.
Yeah,
exactly. And like Dorkside, I think Dorkside does that. I know Among Time does that with their pre-orders. They make you pay now, which I think is the better way of doing pre-orders and in the general scheme of things.
Yeah, especially someplace like Amok Times that they're having to pay for it right out of their pocket right now, and then if you go, as it's being shipped to you, go, oh, I don't want it anymore. Well, now they've ate it. So if you've agreed to pay for it, we'll order anything under the sun. The comic book shop that I'm at, the guy that I deal with, comic book shop, not longer story, but it's under good faith that I said, hey, I want this, our Batman Arkham Knight figure. He'll pay for it because he knows I'm good for it to come back in. It's not like, all right, you said you wanted this thing, and if you don't, now I'm going to eat it. But I get why some places do that, but I would like a little bit of a heads up. It's kind of like getting kissed and you get French kissed at the same time. Whoa, I didn't know we were getting tongue in this thing.
Not saying I didn't like it, but
I'm glad to have it, but I got to go ask your dad for hand in marriage or something.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like I like I said, this isn't like me saying I'm quitting collecting or anything like that. I just got to my 3rd year on YouTube last month, and I'm planning a giveaway. So I'm planning it. I have no idea what to give away yet at this point. So I do plan on doing
a loot.
Yes, it is. It's a $300 pile.
Thanks, Rob. I didn't. Yeah.
No, but I'm planning on giving something away. I think a couple things, but I just don't know because your audience kind of ranges like, because I don't stick to one thing. Like for the most part, you do like DC stuff. You know what I mean? Like you do DC stuff. So your audience is mostly DC oriented. Like I do like NECA stuff and all this other stuff. So I'm trying to figure out what the hell to give away. So I might give like 3 or 4 figures away or something like that, or gift cards or something like that to celebrate the 3 year. But sorry, that's like a weird cheap plug I just did.
But we were plugging each other.
I don't even know. Yeah, we're plugging now. No. But I think you asked me what I was going to do about Star Wars. I don't think I could ever give up the Black Series. I can't. I can't do it. I'm so deep into the Black Series, and I love the way that they handle their line. It's just so much better than Marvel Legends when you compare the two.
Yeah,
sculpt wise, the soft goods mixed with the plastics, just the way that they go about handling their action figures is just better. So and their prices haven't raised. They're still around the $19.99 range. If they go up to $25, then I'm going to have to start considering maybe putting it down, but that day hasn't come. So, and hopefully it doesn't. So, but I really do enjoy that line, and I don't think I'm going to put that down. So, that I'll never have to worry about. And plus it's Star Wars. Like I can't put that down.
I know. That's a hard one for me to continue. After years of buying every single, before there was Black Series, you had your 3 3/4. I've got so many of those and love all of them. And I was kind of at that point of like, all right, I think I have enough Star Wars. And once the Black Series, even the first, like the Darth Mauls, the Bespin Luke, and the original Darth Vader, I saw those in stores and was like, no, no, I've got enough Star Wars. The Force Awakens hit me in a way that I was not expecting. And then I'm like, okay, I'm just going to do the Troopers. And then Chapman Films and I decided, hey, let's have a Trooper war. So I'm buying dozens of Troopers left and right, which as a collector, that's cool to see all of them sitting there. But I did catch myself going 20, 30, 40, 50, 60,
Yeah.
I got $60, $100 in the same figure. Granted, he looks cool and I'm glad to have him. But, it's that type of stuff that goes, the Batman Arkham Knight line, or the Arkham figures is kind
they are fantastic.
That is one of my favorite lines from DC Collectibles. I love that, and that's a thing I can't put down. So at least I know in that line there is an end. At some point they're going to go, okay, we're done making figures.
Yeah. The games have ended, so
yeah. So seeing the Batgirl Oracle 2-pack from Toy Fair just made me go, oh, I've got to have that. Just for a Barbara Gordon fan, that the Birds of Prey was the last Batgirl or last Oracle figure in a wheelchair. So that's a no-brainer, I think, for any Batman fan, whether you are.
Well, I'm definitely going to get that. Yeah. But I was prepared to get a year ago when they announced it. You know what I mean?
Well, here's one: the Thug 3-pack.
No, I'm not getting that.
I am, but that will be my 5th Batman. Why do I need 5 Batmans? And I bought the single carded, then I got the 5-pack with all of the other Batmans, just to get that Bruce Wayne. And the Bruce Wayne is cool, but I had 3 of those other figures, and then I got the battle damage version Batman. Then if I buy this 2-pack, that's another version of Batman. So that's the thing where, as collectors, you go, oh, man, I want these 2, but I don't need that 3rd. Or we're going to repack, the Icons line with the Justice League, all 7 figures. But 2 of those figures are kind of the same, but they're just painted differently. So I know we can take.
By the way, I am very curious to see how much that's going to cost, because if they're $24 or $25 a figure now, that 7-pack is going to be like $200.
Yeah, easily. And I'm torn on the Icons line. I have 2 now. I have Batman. I bought Batman just this last weekend because of seeing Batgirl from Burnside that's going to come with a motorcycle. So I thought, all right, I want to do the primary Bat family. Hopefully there'll be a Robin and a Nightwing or a Grayson or whatever. But I'm going, that Batgirl is $60. She's gonna be $60 with her and her.
I can't do it. I just can't do it. They keep. I mean, if you, I understand it's a new line. They're trying to grab people, and they think that since we're giving more, we'll charge a little bit more. But if you already, the thing is that you're going to lose your audience. You're going to lose your collectors. If you, last year, you started off the line at $21.99.
Yeah.
Now you're giving the same, and you revealed new figures with the same amount of accessories being released as the $21.99. Now you're upping it to $25. I think you're going to lose a lot of your audience and a lot of your collectors, and I don't know if this line's going to really last. And maybe hindsight, years down the road, it's still going on, and I look like an idiot for saying this now, but
right.
But to me, it doesn't seem like that's something that I would invest in. I know a lot of other people might, but for me, it's a no-go. It makes DC Collectibles just look a little bit too greedy when you're raising it that much. And I know a lot of collectors might say, oh, well, they're only raising it like a couple bucks, like $3 or $4. But that shit adds up, especially when you have. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot, and then you're not including shipping. In some places, it's $7 for shipping. Now you're up to around $32 range per figure. That's a lot. That's a lot to ask for a figure that's smaller than a Marvel Legend.
Yeah. My figure's just, where's he at? There he is. I've got Batman here, Mm-hmm. I like the figure. It's cool.
I like it too.
And all that. But, from the figures that are up there on that shelf to here, those are a little over $20. I mean, 21, maybe depends on who it is, maybe 25. But this is going to be the same price point. Yeah, there's accessories and you've shrunk the size all around, which I mean that's a whole different debate. But to me, that's this is a stopping point or it's a starting point for some people.
Yeah.
If you weren't doing this and you missed out on the DC Universe Classics and go, man, I came in at the very end of DC Universe Classics and you know where's my wave? Then maybe this is the thing for you from DC, and it'll be great. And maybe some of us will go, well, I'll pick Batman. Well, I'll get Robin just to have a few. But it also could be one of the things where you go, I'm out. I've already collected all of these figures already. Now I'm just getting a different version of said figure. And okay, now he's green instead of blue. It's the same thing. He's smaller instead of taller. Maybe I don't do those and I get a NECA figure that I don't own a NECA figure at all. Kind of waiting till they make something that's going to make me want to jump on board. And maybe this new movie with Batman versus Superman, there is going to be one. So, and I think there is now that I'm saying that. So, you know, and I think we kind of sort of touched on it in our chat. Not to name drop any other YouTube reviewers. For all of us, like at the Rogue Show, none of us are getting things like free. You know, the things that you see us review on all of our channels, it's, you know, literally blood, sweat, and tears. We're spending our hard-earned money and love doing that and love people checking out our channels and looking at us going, hey, look at this cool thing that I bought. Maybe this is something that you're going to like. But it's not like people are just sending us stuff. Hey, review this thing, review this thing.
Yeah.
If we're buying it, there's a reason why we bought it, because we like it. And if we're not buying it, it's either we just didn't have the money for it, or it just wasn't something we wanted. It was that choice in our collection to do. How do you deal with, you know, the things that you're looking at a shelf and going, okay, do I get this guy or do I get this guy? Or do you ever just buy something just for the sake of the review? Like, well, people want to see this thing, so I'm going to go ahead and buy it.
No, I don't think I've ever bought something for the sake of just reviewing it, because I feel like that's a different path that I would be going down with collecting wise. You know what I mean? Like, I've never looked at a figure and been like, oh, I don't really want that. Like, but everyone's reviewing it, so I might as well review it too. Like, I've only bought stuff that I want, and then I'll review it. You know what I mean? Because I enjoy, like, the whole point of the reason why I feel like, and I feel like you guys all feel the same way. The reason why we do reviews is because we just enjoy it. It's just a fun thing to do when we get home from dealing with all the BS out in the world, and we're dealing with all the BS in the world, or you're dealing with, you know, stress at work or this, that, and the other thing. When you get home, you if you're fortunate to have a hobby and do that, and it's something you're passionate about, that's why we do reviews, because we're passionate about what we're doing. We enjoy what we're doing, and we like to. It's not that we're showing off. That's kind of. A lot of people, it seems like a lot of, and I'm not going to name names with reviewers, but it seems like a lot of reviewers that I have seen seem like they're kind of showing off what they're doing. You don't get that genuine feel from certain reviewers. But for me and for us, in the most part, for the people that I am subscribed to, and the Rogues and my good friend Strident and everything, we're passionate about this stuff. We really do enjoy doing reviews and discussing, and it's not just about like doing the same thing that Shartimus Prime did. Oh, I did the same articulation and his head does this. It's not just about that. Like, it's about, like, I'm showcasing something that I value, that I'm passionate about, because this is a passionate hobby that I have. You know what I mean? I'm showcasing this thing that I take pride in doing.
Yeah.
That's what I go into thinking every single review. I get to showcase, you know, this work of art, basically, is the way I look at it. To all of you, and you guys enjoy it. I have people that enjoy it. I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, that's how I've been on my channel. I think you just hit the nail on the head for all of us. We're reviewing the things that, to me, doing it on YouTube is like having my best friend Ryan Clements across the street that I would run over there like, Ryan, look at this Luke Skywalker I just bought at the store. You know, YouTube wasn't around. In this way, I've had Ryan sent me a message and go, hey, man, I just saw your review of the new Star Wars Black Series. It's like, it's almost like you ran over into my house to show me this figure again. I'm like, that's why I'm doing it, you know, and to be able to share and see other people's collections, that's why. But the reason we're doing the video is going, I want to have the cool things to share, and and I need the house space to put all of it into. So it's like Anthony said, it's not that we're stopping, it's more of like want to be better stewards of our collection. To have those prize things. I don't want to run this long. I think you might have to go, sir. Is there anything you want to tie up?
Well, I think you know, I envy Stu. I envy Stu Murray.
Yeah. So do I.
I wish I had one thing to just collect. Like if I was only doing Star Wars, like I wish I just had the one thing, and then I don't have to worry about anything else the rest of the year. You know what I mean? Like Stu is just. I envy you, sir. I do. I really do, because
you said it at one point. It's like, you know, people on my channel know that, okay, Rob's leaning more on the DC side and he's more in the DC in the Robin Batman side of things, but there's other things there. And you've got, you know, different lines you're doing. The people that go to Stu's channel know it's Superman.
Yeah.
All day, every day, Superman. And I do envy Stu's channel just going, I know Stu would say there's a lot of stuff he would like to collect and like to do, but he just had that line of going, this is what I want. These are the things I'm most proud of in my collection. And I'm sure everybody has seen Stu's room tour. If you haven't, go to his channel and check it out. I just would go, oh my gosh, you know, but I look at that and go, look at that collection. It's concise. It is Stu. That's the biggest thing for me. When somebody looks at my collection, I want them to go, that screams Rob. That is Rob right there. Exactly. Rather than go, Rob's reviewing pop and he's reviewing potato chips and he's, he's on all that wacky
the review spot now. Which I still love the review spot.
Oh,
he's one of my first YouTubers I ever watched, and I still am subscribed to him to this day, and I really do still enjoy his reviews.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, I don't want to keep you because I know you've got some food coming. So
I do. It's like we're supposed to get 8 inches of snow today, and
wow.
I've decided. I was like, I'm staying in today.
Yeah, I took a sick day myself, so why not? But yeah, I'm sure you're going to be hearing more from us probably on this topic. Maybe we'll get all the rogues in for a show here, but this is kind of
we definitely got to do.
Star Wars.
Definitely have to do Star Wars. We got to talk about the Force Awakens. We haven't done that.
Batman versus Superman's coming up. You're probably going to be hearing more from all of us rather sooner than later with all the movies and just products that are coming out. We didn't get into Toy Fair. Maybe that'll be our next video.
Yeah.
But this was really quick, just something that was on our minds. Let us know down in the comments what you guys think of collecting. What are your other questions and thoughts about collecting? So we'll sign off here. Thanks for tuning into this impromptu show. This has been Rob's Rogues, and this has been ODC. That's me. We'll see you guys on the next video.
Turkeys.
Jive turkeys.
Jive turkeys.
Later.